Hi, I'm Father Jim Martin. I'm a Jesuit priest and editor-at-large at America Magazine, and we are very excited here at America Magazine to have co-published a brand new book called A Big Heart Open to God that is now on sale. So A Big Heart Open to God includes the complete papal interview that was done by Father Antonio Spadaro of Civiltà Cattolica on behalf of all of the Jesuit journals. It includes an introduction by our editor-in-chief, Father Matt Malone, that talks about how this interview came to be. It includes 12 responses from some of the best Catholic writers that we could find, talking about what the interview meant to them. And at the end, a 4,000-word reflection by yours truly on how to use this book as a springboard for prayer. But I thought I'd talk about the 5 things that were most surprising to me about the papal interview. First, it was historic. This is the first time that any pope has ever done an interview like this, certainly a lengthy interview like this, that was released by 16 Jesuit magazines worldwide simultaneously. And we kept it a secret, too. Someone said that that was the Pope's first miracle, to be able to have all these Jesuit magazines keep these things a secret. And you'll find out about how this interview came to be, which is a really interesting story, in the introduction by Father Matt Malone. Second, it was really blunt. For me, believe it or not, the most moving part of this interview was when Pope Francis looked back on his time as Jesuit provincial or regional superior in Argentina. And he looks back and he says that some of the decisions that he made were authoritarian and hasty and rash. I don't think I've ever heard a religious leader speak so bluntly about his failures and the things that he regrets in the past. People might say, well, mistakes were made or something general like that, but the Pope is really blunt about who he is, and he talks about himself as a sinner. So this interview was really blunt. 3, he's really clear about not judging. You might remember in his in-flight press conference on the way back from Rio, from World Youth Day, someone asked him about gay priests, and he said these now famous words, "Who am I to judge?" Well, at the time, people were wondering if he's only talking about gay priests. But in this book and in the interview, he makes it clear he's talking about gays and lesbians in general. He says, "Who am I to judge?" And he repeats that, and he says, "We must accompany them with mercy." So it's a really wonderful pastoral way of looking at a very important part of our church. Fourth, it's really prayerful. When we proposed this interview to the Vatican, we knew that what we would get back would be, of course, fascinating. What we didn't know is how prayerful it would be. One of our editors said she was in tears when she was editing it, and I felt the same way. It was very hard to read through it and not sort of pause and meditate on it. There's so much in this interview about prayer, about God, about the religious life, about the church, that makes it the perfect element for prayer. So it's really a prayerful document. Fifth, the reception of the interview. We knew that we had a big story on our hands. We didn't know that the reception would be worldwide interest. It was on the front page of almost every newspaper. It was everywhere online. All the TV stations were interested in it. It was really interesting how people responded to what the Pope said, how it really touched them. And so in this book, A Big Heart Open to God, we have collected a lot of the responses from some of the best Catholic writers that we could find. People were really taken by it, and I think you'll see in the book why it affected them so much. So we at America Magazine really hope you like this book, and as you'll notice, with this size, it's the perfect size for a stocking stuffer for your favorite Catholic or your favorite wannabe Catholic. So for America Magazine, this is Father Jim Martin. Have a great Christmas, a happy Advent, and God bless you.